every day getting a little bit more excited and probably just keeping the same amount of nervousness, which I think is exactly where I should be right now. But cheers, y'all. It has been a while since we've done one of these full weekly breakdowns going into everything that I'm putting into my training, preparing for the Mohican 100 miler. If you can believe it, we are just 34 days away from the Mohican 100 miler, my first ever 100-mile race. So obviously taking training very seriously. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome to the 40 days of vlogging challenge. I'm trying to put out a daily video every single day in the 40 days leading up to my first ever 100-mile race. So I hope you enjoy this training update, and I hope you will subscribe if you don't already. And please, everyone, make sure to click that thumbs up button as well to help others find the video. So that being said, let's jump into the specifics of this week of training. After the 4-state challenge took a full week off. Obviously, like I said, with the IT band issues from the past, I'd kind of been going back and forth, running a little bit, taking some time off, lots of time in PT as well. And so it was a significant jump from doing like 20-25 mile weeks really leading up to that 4-state challenge to all of the sudden doing a 43-mile run on the Appalachian Trail, climbing over 8,000 feet. I was definitely feeling it in the days and week after that run. So really just wanted to take at least a full week completely off, total rest for my legs to allow them to recover. But that week was last week, so now we are back to training, and obviously we have to jump right back in since there really is not that much time between now and the start of that Mohican 100 miler. Lots to do, but so far we are off to a good start. So with that, let's just go ahead and jump right in with Monday. If you have watched my training updates in the past, then you know almost always Monday ends up being a rest day. I did focus a lot of time on doing some of like the basic stretching exercises as well as some of the basic strengthening exercises as well to support that IT band. Lots of flexibility work, lots of recovery work, again, anticipating building that mileage, that training volume back up getting into this week. Tuesday was my first run coming back from the 4-state challenge, just keeping it nice and easy again, really just wanted to kind of refresh my legs, go for a run, feel things out, get a sense for how I was recovering, how everything was feeling. So just went out for a 60-minute endurance effort, heart rate low, pace low, just a relaxed, controlled run. Ended up running 6.22 miles in basically an hour, exactly 1 hour and 3 seconds. Average pace for that run was 9:39 per mile. Again, started out substantially slower, sped up a little bit at points when I kind of shook off some of the cobwebs and started to feel a little bit better, but was definitely aware throughout that run how fatigued my legs still were, especially the Achilles tendon. I think from all of the climbing was just really, really sore in the days after that run, and still felt pretty tired, pretty fatigued during this Tuesday run. But overall felt good. It felt good to get back to running, but also was a nice reminder like, hey, you're still recovering from this run. Make sure that you're continuing to take things a little bit easy, because the worst thing that could happen right now is to try to do too much too fast and end up with another injury. So felt really good on that run, and ultimately it just felt good to be running again. Again, not sure how my legs were going to respond after that 43 miler on the Appalachian Trail. Was very, very pleasantly surprised to see that, yes, there was some fatigue, but ultimately felt really good. Moving into Wednesday, a day off from running, but a day very much on for strength training. So if you've watched some of my videos in this series already, you know one of the biggest things that I want to focus on in the weeks leading up to this 100 miler is really beefing up some of my strength training routines to just strengthen my legs, prepare them for the fatigue that they're going to feel during the Mohican 100 miler, prepare for all that climbing, all of the elevation, and ultimately just hopefully get my legs a little bit better adapted to handle the stress that they're going to face during that run. So let my coach know that I was very much interested in that, and he did not disappoint with the workout that he gave me for Wednesday. It was 5 sets on each leg, of starting with a 30-second stand on kind of one leg in sort of a runner's pose. So not just standing idly on one foot, but almost kind of like angled forward just slightly with the leg that you're not planted on, the leg that you have lifted up, pulled up and with your heel kind of tucked right under your glute, almost like you're mid-stride in a run, and just sort of holding that pose. That was a nice kind of precursor or warm-up for the workout. But so 5 sets total. Start with that 30-second hold on one foot, go from that into 15 backwards lunges, so stepping backwards. But the key here was to focus on only using the muscles in that front leg to control the movement. So a lot of time when you're doing lunges, especially backward lunges, obviously you could kind of like fall back and catch yourself with that back leg, and then also launch off that back leg to come back up to standing. Didn't want to do that for these. Wanted to do a nice slow controlled motion all the way down, almost like a single leg squat, where the back leg is planted behind you just to kind of support you and keep you balanced, but your front leg is doing the lion's share of the work. 15 backward lunges, then 10 single leg good mornings. It's definitely going to be hard for me to explain a good morning on here, especially a single leg good morning without demonstrating. So plenty of YouTube videos you can look up to find what that looks like. Sort of similar to like a single leg deadlift if you're familiar with that. Also should clarify, these were all just with body weight, no added weight or anything like that. And then finishing off each set with 10 runner's pistol squats. So again, pistol squat, just a single leg squat, the raised leg with the heel tucked up under my glute. So I'm still engaging my core, kind of engaging my glute on that side, but then lowering myself down, obviously on the planted foot. And my coach gave me the instruction to try to touch that bent knee or that bent leg knee to the ground every time you go down. I was able to get close a couple of times, but there was no way that was happening for every single repetition, especially with the 5 sets. But I know that's exactly the type of strength training I need to prepare for those tough climbs, that tough hiking that I'm going to experience at Mohican. Make sure my muscles are prepared for that. So a brutal workout for sure, but also a very necessary one that is hopefully going to make Mohican a little bit more manageable. Thursday, I had another run scheduled, a steady state run. This is really the first run since I honestly can't remember when, since before I was going to PT for my IT band, that had any kind of speed involved. Again, steady state running isn't necessarily speedy, but it's just outside of your comfort zone. Again, still coming off of the 4-state challenge, knowing that my legs are fatigued. I didn't push myself by any means. Still just kind of wanted to get a sense for how I was feeling and just kind of turn the gas on just slightly. The run was 2 25-minute intervals at a steady state pace with 5 minutes rest in between each. For those intervals, my first one was at a 9-minute pace. My second one was at an 8:40. I was definitely feeling really, really good during this run, a lot better than I was on Tuesday. My legs were continuing to feel a lot more refreshed. Overall, that run was 1 hour and 17 minutes and 34 seconds. Average pace was a 9:44 mile, and then total distance was 7.98 miles. So a great run. Again, a longer distance than I've been running during the week in quite some time, but very, very happy with the results. Then Friday was another total rest day, nothing to worry about, preparing for a high mileage weekend. So just took the day off. Again, hammered my quads, IT mids, etc. with the foam roll, really focusing on making sure I take advantage of those recovery days. So I've been doing a ton of foam rolling, and Friday was no different. Saturday was hill repeats, a little bit creative of a workout. It was just kind of hill repeats that I could define, do whatever I felt necessary or felt like I wanted to do. I live on Long Island. There's not a ton of hills, especially on the south shore of Long Island. It's almost exclusively flat, very hard to find any kind of elevation. There is a landfill in the town next to ours, or what used to be a landfill that has been converted into a park that has a decent sized hill. In my mind, I kind of pictured going to this park and having sort of a straight shot from the parking lot straight up to the top of the hill and just doing that over and over and over again for a couple of hours to get some decent elevation in. In reality, the majority of the trails that lead you up to the top are sort of switchbacks. So it took a while to find the one that got you from the base to the top of the hill in the shortest distance. So basically finding the steepest incline that I could. Then once I did, I was able to get in a solid amount of repetitions. Ultimately for that run, I was just over 10 miles total. Wasn't super concerned about the distance. Again, elevation was what I was focusing on, and was able to climb a little over 1,000 feet. But a great workout, a little over 2 hours total for that run. That brings us to today, Sunday. However, I am actually recording this on Saturday, so I have not done my final run of the week. Tomorrow's run is going to be another endurance run, just 90 minutes, hoping to get at least 10 miles or right around 10 miles total for that run. As of now for the week, I'm sitting at 24.22 miles, so I should finish hopefully right around 34, 35 miles, which is great. That's right where I want to be, and again, I'll be able to slowly increase that volume to kind of peak right before probably a week and a half before Mohican, relax, do that taper, and then hopefully show up to Mohican stronger than ever. That's where we're at after this first week of training. I'm feeling really, really good about my mileage so far, as well as how good my legs have been feeling. Again, I am certainly aware of the lingering fatigue from the 4-state challenge, the lingering soreness that my legs are experiencing, which I know just means I need to continue to really focus and pay attention to my recovery, doing those rehab exercises that I had from PT, rolling out on the foam foam roller, doing plenty of flexibility work, again, just to make sure that my legs are prepared to handle this increased training volume so that I can increase my volume and peak for this race in a manner that is safe, protecting my legs from injury. But feeling really good for where I'm at, happy with this first week of training, really excited to see what the next several weeks have in store. I foresee continuing to do a lot of these back-to-back long runs on the weekends, or even maybe a back-to-back 2-a-day workout, doing a long run in the morning and another long run in the evening. I'm a little hesitant to introduce one of those right now, again, just because of the fatigue my legs are feeling. That might be a little bit too much stress, but definitely those back-to-back Saturday, Sunday long runs, again, to just build up that endurance, prepare for the Mohican 100-miler. So thanks for tuning in. We are 34 days away from my first 100-miler. Feeling really good, still feeling pretty nervous about the prospect of taking on this race, but every day getting a little bit more excited and probably just keeping the same amount of nervousness, which I think is exactly where I should be right now. But thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you have any specific questions about my training. If you don't already, I hope that you will subscribe to the channel. And as I said, please give the video a thumbs up to help others find it as well. And I will see you tomorrow. Cheers.